How to listen to the God's voice. Is there God's voice? And how about all the other voices I have in my head? Does God really talks to us? Is there a voice of God? Because I know that if I keep myself quiet and I invite you to do right now, I'll stop talking for a few seconds and you just hear the activity that you have in your head. Our mind never stops. So there are many voices, and people even call monkey mind because the monkey keep jumping here and there. So they say that our thoughts are like this. They keep jumping here and there, like tick, 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 and never stop. Yesterday we start talking about this, and just to summarize it very quickly, we talked about all these voices that come from the it, that little compartment that comes with us as a kit. The same way we have liver, kidneys, and heart, there is a little box that we call it that is capturing all the negative, all the fear, all the things that we are told no, don't do it. It's dangerous. Be careful. So this little compartment, that's a virtual compartment. It's not real in anatomy, but it's there. There is a part of our mind that capture, captures all our fears and all the ugliness, all the things negative that we heard, and keeps repeating just in order not to repeat again. It's a protection. It's not a bad thing. The thing that happened to make it bad is when we start believing it's true. When you start giving too much attention, you just increase the volume of these voices and you start believing it's true. That's the problem, because these voices, and it's around 90,000 thoughts per day. The authors go in between 60,000 to 90,000. It's a lot anyways, and those thoughts are repetitive. You thought the same things today that you thought yesterday, a month ago, a year ago, and you keep thinking these same thoughts tomorrow, in a month and a year, and these thoughts just keep like a script that run in our head all the time, non-stop, and mostly are bad, mostly are negative. Don't do that. You shouldn't go this way. Oh, it's cold. Don't go. Don't make it. Everything to keep us in the box, keep us in that comfort zone, the little box that is safe. So these little voices in our head, they are just taking care of our survival. It's to take care of our existence, to keep us alive. So if we keep small, if you keep yourself small, your life is small, your dreams is small, your aspirations very small, everything will be the same. It's like a very steady lake. This very steady lake, calm waters, nothing happens. Exactly like your life. If you don't shake this lake with new ideas, with challenges, with new aspirations, with possibilities, with the impossible that you want so much that you are willing to make it possible, if you don't throw all these pebbles in this lake and make the waters be really shaky, your life today, tomorrow, in 1 year, 3, 5, 10, 20, 50 years will be exactly the same that's now. And there is nothing wrong about this. If you see yourself doing and being the same as you are today in 10 years when you are in your rocking chair, maybe when you are around your 90s, and you look back and you are okay of doing and being the same mode, same old, not challenging, not doing anything different, and you look back and say, I had a good life. I never took a risk. I never faced any challenge. I really lived my life safe and without anything that take me from the ordinary. If you believe that when you get to this moment in your rocking chair and you'll be okay looking back and seeing all that, awesome. Not my business. But if you have a feeling, if you feel something in your gut that if you get to your 90s and you be in your rocking chair just regretting and bitter and angry because you didn't do anything that you wanted, you are always playing safe, you are always thinking about what people told you or what the media said or what you believed because your grandpa parents and your parents said that was the best, but you never believed in that, but you chose to be in that little box, and you look back, you imagine now that when you are in your 90s in your rocking chair and you're looking back and you be so angry. You've been for decades doing the same things, being the same person, never expanding, never challenging, never trying to reach a place that is a little bit further. No effort, no sweat. Then maybe it's time for you to do something about. So, what all this has to be with the God's voice? I read once that when you pray, you are asking God for things. And when you get silent and you listen through meditation or through any kind of a prayer, any kind of chanting, that you calm yourself down and you intentionally decrease the volume of your thoughts. Don't believe ever you will control them because you won't, but you decrease the volume and you don't believe in anything the thoughts are telling you, and you listen through your intuition, something very different than your usual thoughts. That's God's answer. So this book, it's a Buddhist book. That was saying that when you pray, you ask, and when you have intuition or you're meditating, you listen to the answers. But it's impossible to listen to any God's answer if you are listening and you're increasing the volume all the time of this chatting in your head. And how do you increase the volume? Paying attention. Do I do this? Do I do that? Oh no, I am fearful. Oh, I would never do this. I can't do this. I never did. How do you think? Oh, it's impossible. So if you have all those I can't, I don't have, I can't do it, I don't know how. So if you keep just impregnating yourself from these questioning and these negative affirmatives, and you end up believing in all of them, and you see that you're fascinating, your feet are moving but you never go from the place you are to anywhere. It's time for you to have a very deep, honest conversation with yourself. What am I doing? I'm following what everybody always said, but I have a something inside of me that I really want something more. I want a something else. I wanna look to the next chapter of my life. I really want to do things that I dreamed once upon a time and I never did. I always wanted, but I never did anything about. I always thought about, but I had never gone there because I was afraid. And look, there is nothing wrong to be afraid. There is nothing wrong to feel that you were so locked and blocked and you were pulled back. There is nothing wrong about that. The thing is, when you realize that all that is happening to you and you do nothing, that's where the problem happens. When you're not aware, that's okay. But once you are aware and you just bring consciousness to this reality you're living, you can't pretend it's not there. Then the problem exists because you have to live with the regret. I thought about, I really wanted to do that, but I didn't. For one circumstance or the other, one excuse or reasons or the other, but you didn't follow your heart. And the following your heart means listening to God's voice, following your intuition, following your guts, following your sixth sense is not listening to God's voice inside of you. So, yesterday I mentioned to you that today we would do 1 minute. Let's do just 1 minute of intentional silence. I want to do with you. These 1 minute, you don't need to do anything. I don't want you to try to control. I don't want you to try to talk to your thoughts, to talk to yourself. I don't want you be singing in your head. I don't want you say any mantra or any chanting. Nothing. This exercise is to just be still. I call intentional silence. Why? Because we can be quiet in silence all day in our house, but it's not intentional. It's because you don't have anybody to talk to. But when you sit and you stop everything, as we will do now, and you start just being aware of the thoughts, you are just paying attention in what's going on in your head. That's when it's the first step for what we will do for the rest of this week in terms of listening God's voice. So I will mark here 1 minute in my phone so we can just 1 minute. Okay. So I want you to sit very comfortably and you have your feet on the floor. You have your back supported by your chair. You are comfortable. If you need to give a couple of sips of water, whatever makes you feel comfortable. Something in my tongue. So I want to, and I'll start. We'll be in silence. You can close your eyes because closing your eyes, you take away all these stimulation and distractions. So I close mine and I invite you to close yours for 1 minute. And you just be aware, you will be paying attention of your thoughts. What crosses your mind? What's going on in your head that happens all the time and you're not aware of that? Okay, let's start now. All right. So 1 minute is gone. So I would love to hear from you. So you put in the comments, what's what did you think? Or if you don't want to share, that's okay. Feel comfortable. Uh, if you identify the thoughts, if you or if you are so kind of feeling weird that you're the police of your thoughts, and then you don't remember any of the thoughts, or if you had one only thought all the time, or if you have a bunch of thoughts, just share with us how in this first exercise your mind behaved, and uh, and we will be talking about this. So tomorrow we will. I absolutely invite you to do this every day. If you can do many times a day, better for you. If you can start extending from 1 minute to two to three, better for you. So just as much as you do, more better results you have. It's better, more data you have about yourself. And then we will be discussing here the next steps, how you can really prepare your mind to listen to God's voice. Yesterday, I said that the chattering usually is loud and confusing and talking back and forth, and God's voice is calm, soothing, not repetitive, and usually God's voice or inner self voice or higher self voice or intuition uses a vocabulary that is not much familiar to yours. So these is things that distinguish God's voice in your soul, in your heart, from the monkey mind to the chattering talking in your head, the many voices, the it voices in your head. So keep this in mind, do the exercise. I promise you that by the end of this week, you will have your intuition and you'll be more in tune. You won't be distracted with all these tuck, 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 tuck in your head. You will learn how to decrease the volume of this chattering, and you start to increasing the volume of the voice of God in yourself, to have the intuition, to have the guidance, what to do, how to do, when to do, on things that matters to you. My name is Katia Ferreira. I am a coach here in the United States. I'm Brazilian, living here in California, and I work with midlife women that are losing track of what's next in their lives. They accomplished many things, but they got in a moment in their life that they did so much for so many people, they forgot about themselves. And they get confused, they get sometimes sad. And my number one worry, many women, when they get to this point, they start getting sick. They have autoimmune diseases. They have a pain that keep migrating here and there, walking around. The pain never ceases. And once you give back hope and you maybe uncover old dreams that is still possible to accomplish, to reach, life changes. And I've been dedicating the last 40 years of my life doing this. I'm a physical therapist. I do some holistic therapies and hypnosis associated with coaching to get the physical, emotional, the mind part, and the spiritual part to really compact all these tools together, helping these women to find their the new life that they can the new chapter, the next level of life that ever they couldn't ever imagine it was possible. So that's what I love to do. That's what I'm doing lately here. And for today, I leave you with a big hug and a very caring kiss. And I'll be here tomorrow talking about the God's voice again with you. Bye bye. See you tomorrow.